Yeah, but he's.
I thought we were breaking back to that third wall.
You know what?
You just interrupt and go, and we go live in 3,
You can go fuck
2,
yourself.
1.
Yeah, you can show that one way up there.
Yeah. Hey everybody. It's a good way to start.
Hey.
You can tell who's in charge here. I
have a problem with the overlay.
What's our problem with the overlay?
Lily's name is spelled wrong.
Is it spelled improperly? Is it 2 L's?
It's 2 L.
Oh.
I'm very offended right now.
Hello, Farrell. Join the party.
Hi, offended. I'm Dad.
I'll go watch.
That's funny.
So, let's it's been a couple weeks. So I feel like we're gonna need a pretty good recap here. So I'm offering, for the sake of a good recap, I'm offering not just one inspiration, but it's a buy one get one. You get one for your friend too. So if we get a good recap, I'm giving away 2 inspirations, one to you and one to a buddy of your choice. I don't know who's missing. Is anybody actually missing inspiration at this point? Because you guys never use it.
I don't have one.
Yeah, I think everybody's. I think everybody's got one.
Okay, so I'm seeing 2 that
rely on my memory.
I have inspiration that I've never used and I keep forgetting about.
you needed like a sticky note on your monitor that just says inspiration.
I do.
So, Krillok's uncle got kidnapped, as well as his caretaker, and after resupplying, or some of us finally getting supplies for the first time, Dee Dee, we took off in their direction. We ran into some lizard folks, which one of them was a shaman, and their deity had told them of our coming, and that this was like their last hope.
You have echo or reverb?
That's JD.
It was the channel. I'm fixing it. This is why I have you guys do the recap, so I can fix audio while you're doing it.
So with the help of the lizard folk, we were able to get to their town.
My headphones are that loud that it's causing echo over there. I should probably do something about that. Sorry, I found the problem. Continue.
So we formulated a plan at their town, one of which was the shaman and his followers would cause a distraction / engage in battle, and we would go and defeat the leader who was sacrificing turtles. And in the midst of everything, Lily and Socks were able to rescue the caretaker and attempt to rescue Krillok's uncle, but he would not budge after seeing Krillok invoke his guardian spirits, which were his mother and father. And while the battle ensued, the main leader turned out to be undead of some sort. And we finally defeated him with the help of the lovely caretaker, whose name has just left my mind. It's been a few weeks. And after defeating him, we kind of just paused because Krillok's uncle was going kind of mad after seeing his brother and sister-in-law.
No. Close, but almost.
I don't think that was ever specified.
Brother-in-law.
So,
Brother-in-law and sister.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I have written down.
Farrell, I'm gonna need some help from you. I know that you're gonna be busy paying attention to what's going on, I'm sure, but it looks like our audio levels are looking a little funky. Like, it seems like I'm really loud and Pippi is loud, but it seems like Krillok Lost is not as loud, and I feel like I need to do some adjusting. So Let me know if somebody's too quiet and I need to turn them up, please. Just throw it up in chat.
Testing.
I'm allowed.
You're just as loud as we want you to be.
Do I need to be testing?
Okay, you sound good too. Is it just lost?
Is that better?
That's better.
Say it with your chest.
Okay, all right, never mind. We're good.
that better?
That was
That is
a
much better.
perfect recap. Thank you very much. You get your inspiration, and you have one for your friend.
Whoever doesn't have one, yay. Which I think is just Ari.
Yeah, I
Correct.
guess it's just me. Yay, I'm a friend.
By default.
The short women have to stick together.
All the little ladies, all the
I
little
think
ladies.
he would be offended to hear that.
All right. Well, perfect. All right then. Let's get into what? Did that stop?
Wait, I'm hurt. How'd I get hurt? Damn it.
We were fighting. We haven't rested yet.
Yeah, there's not been a rest. So all right, so that's great. So let's just pull back into this as we're ending. The combat has ended, and Lascar, the now known to be undead lizard folk warrior, lays dead this time at your feet, Krilla.
Do I hear my uncle like going crazy over there still?
Yeah. I mean, he's not. I wouldn't say he's so much going crazy anymore now that the specters of your father and your father and your mother have dissipated. He seems to be. He's obviously. If you look in his direction, he looks confused. There are tears that are streaming down his face, and he looks very upset. But he's just holding onto the bar, looking toward you and where they were.
I'm gonna just step over the body and start walking over towards old uncle there.
Okay. As you get closer, Socks just kind of looks up at you helplessly, like, I couldn't. He was. He just kind of backs up out of the way.
Go out there and try and get him out of the cage and let him go.
He definitely walks with you. He's using you for support at the moment, though. Without.
I'm gonna give him his walking stick back too.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He graciously takes that from you and thanks you. As he starts to use it, some of the weight comes off of you, but he's still leaning against you for support as you walk him out of the cage.
What were you saying when I was attacking that lizard folk?
You didn't see him? It was Tindra. It was Kilowog. They fought with you. Where'd they go?
My ancestral protectors. They anytime I go into blinding rage, they come out and they're just there to help me and help guide me. They're always with me.
He sniffles and now he sort of wipes away at his face, and I can't remember last time that I saw them. It's too much.
You remember they died a long time ago, right?
He nods slowly. Yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had you. And a smile sort of creeps at the edge of his mouth.
Well, they may be dead, but they're not gone. They're always with me. I'm just
No.
gonna start walking off.
So are you taking him back to where everyone else would be congregated at this point?
Yeah. I'm gonna
Right,
introduce him to everybody and do the formalities to people, especially like Lily, like because I'm sure I've told him about it. He probably doesn't remember.
He's very gracious. He seems to be having, despite everything that's happened, you might think that his memory right now, his mental state right now seems to be pretty sharp. It could be the sight of, his sister who's been gone for so long, to actually see her again might have rekindled something in his mind for now at least. But he seems to be pretty sharp. After wiping away the tears and getting a grip on the reality of the situation, he's very polite in his greetings in typical fashion, very respectful. But as you look around, you can see that the fighting sort of dwindled around from around you. It seems like the individuals that were wearing more death mantle shamanistic garb are beginning. They've given up for the most part. The renders themselves, a couple still seem to be in a rage, but there's a few that seem to be in sort of a sated state of mind where they've just kind of given up with what's going on with Sikal's forces that he had brought to bear to help in keeping you free from being assaulted from the back. And it seems like things are starting to calm down. Most individuals are still in their homes. The civilians, the women and children that aren't fighters, are not in their home, or I'm sorry, they're still in their homes, sort of taking shelter from what's going on the outside. And the sun is starting at this point. If I remember right, this battle started somewhere around noon-ish, or was it later in the evening? Was it towards the evening? I can't remember. Does anybody remember? I really should
I
have
have
wrote
a
that
feeling
down.
it was around noon, but I don't remember. I don't know why.
I thought it was like pretty early, no?
Well, you guys
Or late
walked
morning,
pretty early.
late morning or something like that.
Yeah, I guess it would probably been early afternoon. Well, I don't remember.
Because I know that you ran into Sakal probably just somewhere around noonish, because you guys took a break because you've been walking through the night. And then you met him shortly after that. So I'm thinking it's probably late afternoon at this point, mid to late afternoon. But the sun's starting to creep in the sky towards the other horizon, and Sakal approaches you all as you kind of stand in the middle of everything. There's a good number of lizard folk warriors that are watching and looking at you all, not really sure what's going on. They obviously weren't sure what was happening, but they took with Sakal, and now they're like trying to figure out who this group of people are. You're being given a wide berth at this point, but you've obviously caught some interest, and you can see that Sakal is talking to some warriors in the general area, and he looks back over your direction, and then he starts making his way towards you all. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about before he makes his way to you?
Didi's gonna be like just sitting on that throne, or not on it, like leaning up on that throne, kind of like catching his breath after what happened.
All right. Well, Sakal is going to approach, a wide, toothy grin on his face. You did it. I knew Simwanya would not send you if you were not capable. As he approaches, he holds a hand out to Krillok. Sort of a camaraderie handshake being offered here.
Very hesitantly, I'll accept it.
You're just gonna hear in the background. I can't clap and talk at the same time, but you've been hearing Didi clap saying that.
Just make sure your people don't ever come around attacking my people again.
We will follow the ways of Simwanya. We live only to survive.
It's fair.
Don't forget, you guys are gonna sit down afterwards.
What?
He has asked that I send someone to speak to the turtles of Hanana to bridge our cultures. I have hesitantly agreed fearing that we would not be accepted at this point. But
Wondering if you should just go back with us, and if you come in with us, it might make it a little easier.
gonna look around a little bit.
Say maybe just like a few of you, not like all. Being he takes everything literal.
He has to stay with his people and fix this. Maybe he can select someone to help that, but I don't know if now's the right time. Maybe there's something you can give him to give to this person that the turtles will know means peace. And I'm gonna look at Tonka. See if Tonka has anything.
Oh boy, does Tonka have anything? He's going to rifle through whatever pockets he has on his garb because he didn't bring a bag with him, getting kidnapped and whatnot. I mean, I'll be there. I'll be there. I can speak for them. I'm not going anywhere. I've got a home to run. I'm sure we can probably just meet with I'm sorry, it's been a very stressful day. I can't remember a lot of stuff right now. It's
I got nothing.
got too much.
Lily's gonna just like give Steven, which I know is not his real name, a tiny clockwork mouse that she's created and say, if you show this when you come or whoever you send, the turtles will know that they're from your people and that you're there to talk about peace. And I know it's really weird and odd, but they will know.
He sits there and holds it in his hand and looks down at it. Looks back up. He's gonna reach up and it's got a key on it that you just wind up.
Yeah.
He's gonna reach up and wind it up for a second and then let it go and watch what it does. And just look up. Can I keep this afterward?
Yeah, it's for you guys, but it's to help you and the turtles make peace.
This is wonderful. Such strange magic.
It's not exactly magic. It's just so. Never mind.
Looks confused. Okay. I will offer this as a symbol of peace. In the meantime, I feel I should repay you for your help that you have provided to me and my people, and also feel free, if you're comfortable, you may stay, you may eat. If you are not, I understand.
Dee Dee's gonna be walking up, holding his side. Rest does sound really good.
Every night
A
after he
little
keeps good as safe.
rough.
Leave it up to you guys if you want to stay here. Honk, you good? Do you want to? I know you were just enslaved here or captured here for a little bit, but think you need a little rest before we head back to Hanana?
In the swamp? Is this still in the swamp?
Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna have
Yeah.
we have to leave the swamp. Yeah.
I have questions, but I don't want to make the turtles stay here if they're not comfortable here.
Tonka just kind of looks around at the state of things, understanding what's happening, and gives a shrug. And your uncle will look to you, Krillak. I'm fine.
Like, fine to stay or fine to go?
I'm fine to do whatever you think is best. it wouldn't be bad to actually get some comfortable rest before we leave.
So I'll look at the shaman. I can't remember his name. Do you have a
Steven.
place where?
Sickle.
It's Steven.
Do you have a place where we may be able to rest a little bit so my uncle can regain his strength so we can make our trek back?
Of course. And he will start speaking in Draconic to nearby lizard folk. So those of you that understand Draconic will be able to hear. He's essentially, what he is asking is that they find the largest hut that is currently available for that they can get whatever lizard folk are in there out for a night, so that it provides you all with one space that you all can stay in comfortably. It needed to have, he basically was given specifications. It's got to be, as big as we can find with at least 7 beds in it. And we want to make sure that we get them food. He's setting preparations up. And about that time, another lizard folk comes forward and says to him, here's what you asked for. And he takes this small coffer and he turns around and he says, we are setting up arrangements so that you all will have a comfortable place to sleep and food to eat. And he kind of gives a smile and looks up at the turtles and goes, with all palates in mind. And he offers the coffer out to whomever would be the closest and says, this is the least that we could do for the help you provided us.
I'm also gonna drop my disguise self. Like around this point. Just remembered.
Was he there whenever you did that? He wasn't there, was he?
No, he was not there.
He looks really confused now because you handed him a mouse and he has no idea where that came from.
Well, I was assuming that I would do that before I gave him the mouse, but
Okay.
I didn't say that, so.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Alright. Well, since you're probably closest because you gave him the mouse, he's gonna hand the coffer out to you.
Okay.
It's not like a little locked box or anything. It's just a small wooden box that if you open it, you will find.
Well, I'm not gonna open it now, but
Okay,
if
okay,
as
I
a
won't tell
DM you need to do it, then it's fine.
I won't tell you what you find now.
Um,
Speaking of, did anybody look at the body?
no,
Okay.
not yet. There's a whole lot of that needs to go on here. Sickle, did you know that he was undead?
He looks down, having noticed, but not really wanting to draw any sort of, you could tell he wasn't trying to draw attention to it, but at the same time, now that you've brought it up, I was not aware of this. This is a strange development indeed.
And he was still, as far as you know, maybe we could talk to one of the followers that's not dead or driven off. He was offering people to your deity as well.
So he said.
Okay.
He did not represent the ways of Samwanya. And as you can, as he says this, he actually gestures over, and you can see the large pole that was affixed on the stage where they had been doing their sacrifices. You can see as the pole, you hear a loud crack, and the pole starts to come down, and it falls with a thud. Those are not our ways. But he was making sacrifices falsely in the name of Simwanya, but sacrifices to something nonetheless.
I want to know if there's anyone left, or did we kill them all, or did they all get away? Is there anyone? Because you guys were fighting the rest of them. We just had him.
I can sort through those that surrendered. I can have them questioned to see if any are original followers of Lascar before he arrived.
And I mean, this is going to sound really creepy and probably brutal to your people, but maybe, cut some of their arms and see if they're undead too? Just, double check your people? I don't want to be like, let's be. I don't know.
It's unusual that someone could so easily betray their nature the way that Lascar did. Normally, there are signs, auras, feelings.
And she's gonna look over to Tonka and be like, "Can you detect dead?" Sorry.
My only worry would be is how he became that way. I mean, isn't that something that wouldn't he have to have been created? Something would have had to brought him back and created him.
He nods. Tonka's kind of looking at you, Lily, like, I don't know. Like he's not the adventurous type, so his abilities are really, he has no idea what kind of potential he has even tapped at this point because he doesn't do it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
He just kind of.
I just read stories and books. You know, like there's a lot of books, so I was just spitballing here with what we got. You know, you really impressed us with what you did. You I don't want to say save the day, but you really were almost MVP. It was between you and Krilla.
Alright, you know what? I can do that. I can do that. I can try that. I'll try it.
Actually,
Try it.
Hey Didi, are you okay?
I'm tired. I'm hurt.
I couldn't
kinda
see
like-
everything. So what I saw was Tonka and Kurlock, but I'm sure there was a lot more going on. I was just trying to be sneaky and get everyone out in case we had to
No,
run.
I really like, you know.
There we go. There goes my encryption.
My bad. My bad. I forgot. I really like thought. I really like saw like my life flash before my eyes. It seemed like.
I think we as a group need to discuss my role here and what I am able to bring, because I'm not a priest or one of these lovely clerics. That's not what I do. I'm more of a pre-game, you know, like make sure everybody's got what they need before shit hits the fan. But anyways, Carrot, you had something you wanted to talk about. I'm like,
Yeah, well,
really in the face.
I was just wondering if that thing I'm going to point down at the abomination, and was it created? I mean, I'm pretty sure that it has to be brought back, and if it was brought back, who brought it back, and are there more to come? Yeah, that's my fear.
I'm no expert of the undead, but I believe you're correct that for one to exist as undead, they have to be brought back by another
Yeah.
as undead, or
That's my
either
concern.
or be in the instance of there are those of the arcane that are driven to the thought of immortality to the point of essentially draining themselves of life to not die as well. So
That's my concern, is that where did he come from, and who brought him, and what was his purpose other than sheer destruction? And if that's the case, might they make another and send them in his place?
these are good questions.
I just fear it may not be over. There might be another one sent.
He ponders for a moment and seems to be contemplating some options. and he looks down at the corpse and looks back up. I can perhaps convey with whatever spirit may have been left, if there was any, but I don't know what questions we would be able to ask as far as to its life or its undeath.
Well, I mean, do you have any enemies? Anybody that would want to see you and your people forever changed, that has maybe been outcast? Do you have any warlocks or such that was in your midst that has been removed from your clan?
None that I can think of.
Well, that's my biggest fear. For what it's worth, I'm just scared that another one can be created or resurrected.
I believe I could ask questions of its spirit, but in doing so, again, I feel that it would only have knowledge from its life, not its undeath. I believe that is
well.
the nature of what I'm capable of doing.
Perhaps whatever made it before it was dead. Maybe it'll remember who killed it. I don't know. These are questions, not my realm of expertise. The magic user that I am, I don't dabble in necromancy much. Not enough to know these sort of things.
He holds up one hand. 5 questions. I can't guarantee answers for the 5 questions. I can't guarantee that they will be clear. But I can ask 5 questions of its previous living spirit. So I would suggest anything that you all would like to ask of it. You can come up with these questions and present them to me. And then I can try to convene with its spirit and provide you what answers I can.
How long do we have to give you these questions? We certainly
As
should
long as you'd like.
ponder it. Well, maybe we could discuss it over dinner.
Certainly. Given the state of things, I wish that I could provide you with a celebration for your help, but I feel there was a lot of fighting amongst our own involved in this, and I do not want to take away from the harshness and graveness of our situation. So we will prepare what food we can and have it delivered to where you'll be staying. You're not confined by any means, and I will be sure that everyone knows that you are guests of mine personally. But I just ask that I'm merely explaining we won't be doing any celebrations for this event. This is a dark and a light day for us, if you'll understand.
Yes.
We appreciate everything that you do, Seagal.
Just kind of bows a little bit. I do believe that none of this would have been capable without Samanya's guidance and your help.
Yep. Sounds like we have some questions to come up with then.
Okay, is who, what, when, and where, right? Yeah.
As Sakal is looking down at the body, he also he leans down. He seems to fiddle with something that's on Laskar's belt loop, and he uncinches it, and he holds it up, and it looks like it looks like a golden. It's sort of a golden cage that's wrapped around a pearl white egg, that's only it's about 2 inches. He just sort of looks at it. This looks out of place.
Can I look at it?
What-
I'm gonna come over to try to get an idea of maybe what it is.
Where
He
was that from?
offers- It was on Laskar's belt loop, one of his belt loops. He had it cinched onto it.
Oh, okay. It's weird not having Rog around. I wanted to instantly just say running to the body.
All right, he'll
Yeah,
offer it out to you.
Yeah, I'll take it. Can what do you want me to roll? History maybe? Arcana? Investigation?
I think it's if you did like a ritual detect magic, you'd be able to pick up on the schools of magic, and then with an arcana, you might be able to discern more of the usage of it. I think.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do a sit down with it and start to ritually cast detect magic, and I'm also going to ritually cast identify. So I will commune with figuring out what it is for the next 20 minutes or so.
Just as a reminder, I get 1 freebie, Tom, and it's like instantly.
Oh, if you want to come over and like tap it and tell me what it is, you can. I don't know. I'm just gonna be kind of chanting there with it.
No.
I can see Lily now, like impatiently watching,
Yeah.
like
She's gonna be
waiting to
hovering
know what
going,
it is.
going,
Just like,
I'm gonna touch it. I want to touch the butt.
hurry up, old man, hurry up. So we'll just skip over. Actually, you know what? We're not going to skip over. When you cast your detect magic first, the only thing that you really get is sort of like a faint, barely sensible transmutation. And it's obvious that there's something, but you're barely picking up that there's anything magical about this at all. And then when you cast your identify on it, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in here with you, and then I'm gonna talk to what everybody else is doing while you are spending 20 minutes messing with this thing. So I'm gonna drop something in your journal. On Roll20, you should be able to find it in PC items.
Got it.
Dude, check
Yeah,
out these
pick a
pencils I got.
All I see is a picture.
Oh, you can't see any of it?
Just a picture.
Did I put it in? I did put it in DM note. Sorry, there you go. So while Carrick is involved in that, was there anything else that anybody was wanting to do?
Just
I
have
don't-
food and some rest.
I want to look around and find a really nice, either
Because it's that soldier.
like a
The
platform.
army was here.
Oh, wasn't there a platform in the center?
I did not mean to do this.
Where they were sacrificing people?
Oh, no, not that then. I want to find a nice comfy spot.
Sikal offers to show you all to where you're going to be staying if you would like to go there and start relaxing instead of standing here in the open.
Yeah, I like that. And then I will start meditating.
So Lily's waiting for all the lizard folks to leave before she's gonna go investigate the body and possibly try and find the heart.
Yeah, I think
It's
I'll
hard.
look at the dead thing.
Yeah, but she's waiting until all the lizards are gone before desecrating this body. She doesn't want the lizards, watching her do this. And she's gonna check
Yeah,
to make
I
sure
don't-
it's not acidic on her skin before, going full.
It
And
better.
I'm still sitting there too. I don't go with the groups. They just kind of leave me. I'm sitting there chanting next to.
Okay, so Sakal goes to show. Are you guys? Because this opens up this whole thing. Are you guys wanting to split into different groups at this point and go like some of you go, or you wanting to investigate this? Because you can just tell Sakal, give us a minute and we'll go. But I don't think Lily wants to try to cut this thing's heart out in front of him. Is what she's getting at. So.
I want to go investigate the undead critter, as I have not encountered one before, and I don't know how to deal with it, and it concerns me.
Is Krillak gonna show like the turtles to the resting place, or is he gonna stay with us? Because it feels
I'm
like
gonna take
everybody
the
but him.
turtles. I'll take the turtles.
Yeah, I'll be with them. Or I'll be going with the turtles.
All right, so Carrick is left chanting with Lily and Ari, who are investigating this body. So one of you can make an investigation with advantage because you're assisting.
Yeah, it probably doesn't want to be me. Yeah, it probably wants to be her.
Damn.
All right, so
She knows everything. Just spill it.
we'll start with breakfast yesterday. All right, so he's not carried anything of value on him except for obviously the charm that was there. His trident appears to just be any old normal trident, though it is more hefty. It's more on the bulky side, so it's really large. But aside from being really large, it doesn't seem to be any any better made than any other trident. He's not carrying any coin, but you do find. No, never mind. That's not there. He's not really carrying anything else, I don't think. The rest of his stuff is not there.
Could I figure out if the body was it like it's not deadly to touch?
No, definitely not.
The
With a
26?
26, yeah, you're certain that it's not toxic to touch the body.
Okay. And then, like I said, I do want to try and find the heart if it's there.
You find what was probably a heart at one point, though it seems to be that it's exceptionally decomposed.
Okay, and there's nothing like added or subtracted. Because that's what she's trying to figure out. Is like if it was created, then maybe there's something added or taken away. That's why I was looking for a heart.
Anatomically, it seems like a lizard folk heart. You think? I mean, with a 26, you're. I mean, I'm gonna say with a 26, you would be certain. But also, what is Lily's experience with lizard
Books.
folk? So she would. It appears to be an anatomically correct lizard folk heart that is probably gone through years of decomposition at a slower rate, I would guess, but years of decomposition.
Everything seems to be here.
So how do we fight these things? Because my weapon was doing nothing to it.
Fire and holy magic stuff. Yeah.
So I have neither of those. What do you got?
I don't have anything. So we were very lucky to find Tonka and have Tonka with us.
Also, you remember that speed potion thing you gave me?
Which one?
I don't know, maybe faster. I like that thing. Maybe run further.
Yeah.
I need more of those.
We can figure something out. It's difficult not having materials. Like I said, I'm a prepper, not a. I can only do so much during fights.
Well, we're not in a fight right now. That's why I'm bringing it up.
But we just were.
Yeah, but we're done with that. I'm saying in the future. What do we need to get? I'll help you find it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find maybe some supplies here. They might have some herbs actually. We can ask them for.
also holy stuff. That's not our domain.
Yet. Haven't quite figured out how to do that on stuff. I haven't figured out the sigils and whatnot.
Just something to think about, or for me to think about. I did not like not being able to hurt this thing.
No. It's, I don't know. This is weird. Why would I have so many questions.
Like, how did it become like this?
Well, like, I know that the turtles and the lizard folk haven't gotten along for a long time, but I don't think he was in power for this long. I don't know, like, if somebody's trying to escalate things, or if it has been going on that long, and I don't know.
Well, I have a feeling that you just don't die and become like this.
And then, like, why wouldn't his deity, if she was, or it, sorry, I don't know what it is, but like, why wouldn't it tell him that he's a false leader, that he's not alive? Why would she let him do that?
Why has it got to be a deity?
Well, that's who spoke to him to tell him to come to us as a last hope. You know, they told the shaman, they told Sakal about us and that how we could help free his people before things got really bad. So I'm wondering why she didn't tell him sooner, or I don't know. Because I don't think people would follow an undead creature if they knew. That's why I'm wondering if there's more of these that have infiltrated this city.
Yeah,
Eric, about this
They're
point,
not
you're
just
done with your.
that there's one of them.
Done with my what? You cut off.
I was saying, Carrick, at this point during their conversation, you're probably getting finished with your identify spell. So you now realize what the charm is.
Aha! I think I have it. Now I'm gonna stand up. This thing was used to prevent us from seeing its true nature. When he used it to make sure that people couldn't tell that he was evil. So this was his mask to prevent us from knowing what he really was. Quite remarkable, really. It's it even prevents someone from using magical scrying to be able to find you. It's quite amazing, really. Very faint, but that's definitely what he used for it. It was very premeditated. He definitely came here with a purpose, and this was definitely needed to be able to cover his tracks, per se, when he came here, to keep others from knowing that he was what he is. And as far as what you were saying, I kind of heard the tail end of it. But yes, he was. I would think that whatever brought him back and sent him with all of this in preparation, perhaps, and he's definitely came with a purpose. The 5 questions that I think we need to be thinking about that. What are we going to ask this thing?
How did you die?
I think that
How would you
might be a,
protect life?
you know, well, he did say that it was only going to be the things before his death. He can't, we can't ask him anything after his death. So it'd have to be, maybe who killed you,
Like, so his actual death, not his own.
and was he a sacrifice? That sort of thing. We'd need to know if if he knew that he was being sacrificed before his death. I don't know that he would necessarily know why, but that might be one. I don't know. We should probably write this down.
So it's
Let's
definitely-
go find the others and discuss this all together.
This creature had 2 deaths. So the
Yes.
first death is the one. We're not restricted by this.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes, He had to be alive so that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
could
yeah.
talk to him. He was undead, so we can't talk to that part of him.
Yes, he did. The shaman was very clear that we won't be able to find out anything post first death. Yeah, let's go find the others, and we can bounce off some ideas, and maybe save one question for the shaman that they may know. I don't know. Maybe they'll know something more than we do. A better question.
All right. As you're making your way, you're approached by a lizard folk. As you're making your way back into the town, following the direction that the others had gone in, you 3 were ready to go, right? Okay. So you start making your way through, and there's one that sort of sees you all, and he speaks out Draconic, and he just says, "Hello, and he kind of stops for a second. Do you speak?" And he seems like he's trying to find a way to talk to you.
So, hello, I understand you.
Oh, that's good. I don't speak any common. I don't know why they sent me. I can take you where you're staying. They sent me back to see if you were ready to go, so I could guide you where you'll be staying for the night.
Oh, all right. Lead on. She's gonna look back at Ari and Carrick and say, "He's gonna take us to where the others are."
Did they leave us?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So he leads you through to a small, not small. It's actually as comparatively to these huts, it's pretty large. It's all 1 story. It's enough space for you all comfortably to have. There's 7 beds that have been placed in this space. It's large enough to encompass all 7 beds with a little bit of extra space set up that just has like a small like in the center of it there's a small chimney that goes up through the roof that has just it's honestly just a flume, and then there's a campfire underneath of it. So but as you go in, you see your companions. Clintrap is laid on one of the beds already, and he's awake, but he's just kind of sitting there looking up at the roof of the tent. Did you want to have any conversation with Clintrap, Krillok, before the others made it back?
No, I just want to take him in there, make sure he's getting rest, and I'm gonna rest myself up.
So
Make sure
Dee Dee's
he's comfortable.
meditating. Okay, so Dee Dee's meditating. You've got Krillok and Clintrap on beds next to one another. You got Tonka that's sitting on a bed near him too, and he's sitting there, and he looks like, as you walk in, you can see he's doing like a. Like he's trying to concentrate on make something happen, and he keeps looking at his hand, but nothing seems to be happening. And as you come in, he kind of gives a little wave and goes back to trying to do what he's doing. The lizard folk gives a bow and says thank you, and just turns and leaves without anything else.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Socks is sitting over there next to Dee Dee, by the way. Like, with he's doing the whole... This is really dumb, I don't feel anything.
Did he sneak up on me like when I was already doing this, or did he like come up before I started?
You know what? I feel like as soon as you started, he probably would have said, what do you do?
Let's go down this road. So we
Let's
all
do
come
that.
over here. We all come over here to the hut. I'm gonna go sit over here with Uncle Clintrap and talk over there in his little thing.
So, what are you doing?
I'm recovering. I'm trying to get myself
Some soldiers
in a nice,
died.
comfortable place.
People even
And
just died in
I'm reflecting on what I saw.
Some people died in a car
During
crash.
You know what helps me reflect and get in that proper state of mind? And he like reaches back and pulls out a flask that is obviously way too big for him from his backpack, and he holds it out. Do like the rest of us and poison yourself. You're making us all look bad.
I know it's not for everyone. You know. Krylok was actually starting to get around to it. He was
Shut
starting
your
to-
mouth.
Oh, is that so? What you been doing, bud?
Limbering.
Limber.
I was helping him get stretched out so he could do what he does. What he seems to be pretty good at.
He was on
All right. So we're gonna skip over that part of this conversation. We're gonna go straight to. All right. So how about this, pal? So I'll try your thing, but afterwards you gotta try mine.
Well, oh, the poison,
stuck in
Oh yeah,
the alcohol.
got hit.
yeah. We can blame it on the alcohol.
You know what? Fair enough.
He was-
Yeah, but
You know, I don't. You know, one drink won't hurt.
was
that's what we all said too.
And this is the fall of Dee Dee.
Yes, corruption. So yeah, as you walk in, this is the comings of this. He's going through guided meditation with Dee Dee. This is really stupid. I don't feel anything.
Breathe into your chest.
you know,
I don't know how else to breathe. That's where my lungs are.
I
And
am-
exhale using your
He
mind.
died.
I'm going to die from not breathing properly.
So I'm just gonna keep continuing, you know,
Something else was,
telling him how to breathe properly.
something-
He eventually shuts up and seems to actually be relaxed.
Was hoping for more on that.
I think more to come. So how long do we meditate for before he finally goes stir crazy?
You guys aren't too far into it at this point. Sox is a patient guy. He's a first mate on a ship. Gets left alone sometimes. He has his own ways of killing the time, but he can sit still for a while with nothing. But the rest of you do come in during this time frame, so everyone can get comfortable.
Is Socks over there trying to meditate when we walk in?
Oh.
Oh, look, it's spreading. Look.
I'm
gonna
just
try that one.
gonna open my eye just so slightly just to look over and then close it.
Look over at Sox.
No,
You check later.
Kurt.
Maybe I will one day. This will not be that day.
Krillak, make a perception. Alright, never. So were you guys gonna discuss questions, or were you waiting on?
Tonka, how long has the lizard folk and the turtles not gotten along? Has it increased a lot lately? I mean, like, obviously, but like, how many years, months has it gotten worse?
Well, I can't really think of a time in Hanana since I've been around, really, except for this one, that it's been bad. Every now and then there's, people that go missing and we say it's the lizard folk. But I think the last, really, you want to get historical about it, most of that had to do with the snout and the war there. And as he says that, he kind of looks over towards Clintrap and Grillock. That was the snout. It wasn't here.
How many years ago was that?
I'm trying to think.
I think we decided almost 20.
I think so. Yeah, sounds right. We'll say it.
20?
Yeah, about 20 years. The snout happened about 20 years ago. That was a lot of turtle lives lost, but you know that wasn't Hanana. There were two turtle settlements. There was Hanana here closer to the mainland, where we did most of our interaction with everyone else. But then we had the snout, and it was a more concentrated, I guess, population of our people up to that point. Most of them that were there ended up becoming refugees and coming back to Hanana, according to the stories. And it sort of grew, and then there was a large portion as well that just sort of split off into the world to various different places, and then there was some that stayed behind as well. But I mean, all of that's sort of history told through word of mouth, considering.
There's nothing written anywhere, not even back in Hanana?
Shrugs. I've not seen anything really written on it. Our people tend to be more spoken word when it comes to telling our stories instead of chronological, written dictation of the past. So
I'm sorry, and besides Clintrap, would there be anyone to ask back in Hanana that you can think of? Or is this something that when we get back to Hanana, I should investigate this further? I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't mind if you don't know.
I mean, no, I'm fine with answering questions. I don't know though. The last one that I know that was even around when the war of the snout happened was Clintrap. So I don't know. I mean, it'd be worth asking.
Maybe not now. But thank you.
Oh yeah, no, definitely don't ask him now. But I mean, like when you get back to Hanana, I'm saying it might be worth asking if there's anybody else.
Yeah.
He's gonna kind of lean in a little bit and try to speak quietly so only you can hear it. Clintrap's memories, here and there. There's good days and there's bad days. There's some days where he still sort of lives during the war. It's just kind of, it'd be hard to tell. I can guarantee you that whatever he said was probably the closest thing to a first-hand account you'd find. But I mean, he wasn't. I don't believe that he was actually at the snout when it fell. He was in Hanana, and that's why. And it kind of nods towards Krillock. Krillock was there, but he was young, so he'd be worth asking.
Okay.
Kind of holds a hand up. I've been practicing.
You keep practicing. I'm not sure how that works, but maybe Carrick is also, he has to practice and write his magic down. Yeah.
Look what I figured out. And he just kind of like concentrates really hard, and then suddenly there's his hand lights up. It's just a light cantrip, but he's like, yeah.
I mean, you seem very good in battle, so I'm surprised that.
That was instinct. That was pure
okay.
instinct. I have no idea what I was doing. And he seems to, like, he's trying to flick the light off of his hand.
Keep working on it.
Like, shoves it underneath of him and then pulls it back out.
You're doing great, Tonka.
So I'll figure it out. It'll come to. I was doing other stuff that was really cool. You know.
So questions to ask Sakal. To ask the undead thing about when it was alive.
Who? Where?
Who what?
Who did it to him?
Who, what, when, where?
Who, what, when, where?
Yes.
Carrick's gonna hold up a little piece of parchment, and he's, here's some ideas, and he's gonna start reading. What year was it when you died? It might be needed to know how long ago. Maybe what year. Do lizard folk do they record time? I don't know, but maybe. And then how did you die? Who killed you, and what was your name? That's just
Or
some idea.
why were you created?
But he's not going to know how he was created because I doubt, because that would be after he was brought back. It has to be things when he was living. When there has to be something that his living mind would have known.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, that's how that works. That's what the
Yeah.
shaman was saying. I not my thing, but that's what he says. Yeah.
Well, maybe the guy might have slipped up and said why he was doing it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, it could even be that he decided he was going to do it intentionally. I mean, I don't know why anybody would. Maybe that we should ask that. Did you do that? Did you want to be undead? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think I'm now out of my meditation.
How about instead of did you want, did you know you were going to become?
Well, who answers that question? When you ask who did this, he says, I did, then you know he did it. Or if he says, Joe over there did it,
Well, that's, the whole how did you die and who killed you might give us some recollection to that. But I mean, in all honesty, he could have died from an accident, and someone chose his body to bring back. So he may not even have a clue. Anything.
So we probably should ask, how did you die first before who killed you? Also, what are we trying
Perhaps,
to
yes.
figure out?
Well, we're trying to figure out if he is why he came here, and if he was sent by some evil warlock or not. Which we're just gonna really have to make deductions of what we can figure out from him being alive.
Well, it seems like the best question would be to ask is, where did you die?
Yes, probably that's gonna be a good one too. Let me write that down.
That's a place.
Sure. Do you remember that those people we met early in our time in the swamp that had the weird not weird, but they had the water in their head?
The Kappas.
Mm-hmm.
The cap.
Yes.
Oh my god. He seemed like he knew a lot about them.
Well, he knew a lot about the
Well, what was going
about
on?
the lizard folk.
Yeah.
But he didn't. I don't think he realized that it was undead. I mean, he didn't say undead. He just said that there was a lot going on with the lizard folk, and that there was a lot of them around, and it was getting really bad. So I don't think that he knew the cause of it.
Hmm.
I don't remember him saying any names that would be anything that we are working on now.
Okay, I just remember that, and I thought it might be useful.
So we got what year did you die? So the when. How did you die? Who killed you? What was your name? Where did you die? That's 5 questions.
Well, his name would
Is there something
be. I have last Garv. It's all right.
Well,
It's close.
We
And
we
the
don't know
shaman
if,
knows him as that.
Well, the shaman might be able to answer that question then. I don't know if he was known as that before he died or not. I mean, maybe the shaman may know. We'll ask that question to the shaman before he asks the spell, or casts the spell. Because if he was known, then yeah. I mean, but how long could he have been this undead creature? So we definitely have more questions for the shaman before we have him do the spell.
Lily's gonna look over at Tonka again. To put you on the spot again, did you overhear anything other than, the fact that you're being sacrificed?
No, they majorly speak to each other in a language that I have no idea what the heck they're saying.
And she's gonna look at Soggs and be like, "Hi, Soggs," and then look back at Tonka and say, "It's like that," or was it something else? And that's in Draconic.
All right, when you say that, you realize that Socks, who still appeared to be meditating, is actually sleeping. He lets out like a what? All right, and what? And Tonka goes, yeah, like that.
Okay, so it was in Draconic. It wasn't some other language. Okay, well, that's good to know. So it makes me feel like there might not be anybody else here under that influence.
If that was to notice that Socks was sleeping, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I got another good one. Another good question. What was his purpose?
Yeah, but that would mean that he would have known that he had a purpose to do this before he died.
Oh,
which is possible. He could have basically offered himself up for sacrifice and been aware of this before he died. Very well, but
Well, I guess that could. Socks is now paying attention at this. What are we talking about?
Things to ask the corpse about its life when it was alive.
Never mind. I'll tell you guys what. We are at 5 minutes till 10 Eastern time. So let's go on ahead and we will take a quick 10-ish minute break. You guys can continue to mull it over in your minds and discuss it here if you'd like to in Discord. And then when we come back, we can refine these questions and get to.
Sounds like a winning deal.
All right.
I'll pass out these little cards for everyone to read.
All right.
Cast your votes here.
We'll be right back then. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break so that we can refill beverages and get up and stretch our legs before continuing tonight's fantastical and mesmerizing episode of Tiermora. And we're back.
All right.
Sorry about that. I had a bit of an emergency that came up, and it came up towards the end of the break, and so I had to take and make a few phone calls and set some things in place. So that is my fault, but now we're back. So, all right, you guys.
Does anyone else remember the praise the... Never mind. Let it go.
Praise the mighty puppet.
No, not the puppet.
Praise Puppet.
It was when Twitch was doing the Pokemon. You play Pokemon, and everybody kept making them check on the fossil, so it became like praise the helix or something like that. It was because they kept wanting to consult the fossil.
Consult the fossil.
But it has a name. Never mind. Just moving on.
Moving on.
So we have a fair list of questions, but we should maybe speak to the shaman before we maybe begin his ritual? He may be able to clear some of these questions up before we get started.
Okay, so what's y'all's plan? I heard that that's your plan, but are you wanting to? Are you wanting to like look for someone that could take you to the shaman? What's the dealio? Are you just gonna wait
Well,
if anybody shows up?
I say that we I say we probably need to find him, and we're gonna have to find him regardless. So we should probably maybe locate him and yes. So I'm gonna look around. Are there any lizard folk nearby?
Yeah, there's the. It seems like they are getting back to some semblance of normalcy with what's going on. They've dragged some. I mean, there's no more dragging corpses around. Any sort of fallen, so that's a plus. But it seems like things are going back somewhat to normal. You can smell food cooking.
I'm gonna walk up to the first one I see and say, do you know where Steven is at?
It's gonna turn and look at you, and it's going to speak in Draconic. Lily, it says, "I have no idea what you're saying, tiny bearded person."
I'm sorry, I don't understand you. I need Steven.
And then it's, I don't understand, like in slower Draconic. I don't understand you.
This will continue until Lily steps in. Back and forth.
I'm a Carrick. I got this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't understand what he's saying. That's a remarkable language. Maybe you should teach that to me one day.
I know what he said. I forgot. I understand this.
We want to find Sakal. We would like to talk to him, or maybe you could take us to Sakal.
He nods. Okay, I can find someone and tell them. I'll find one of the warriors and send them to you to take you to wherever he is. That's a little bit beyond me. I'm just a cabbage merchant.
Do you have any for sale? The turtles probably would love. Well, wait. You guys probably have given us some, but maybe for the road.
I did, but unfortunately, during the battle, a render fell on my cart and my cabbages.
As he starts to cry, I'm gonna pat him on the back. There.
Oh, we'll be here waiting for Sakal or someone to take us to him. Thank you.
Okay. He wanders off, and then there's someone comes back to collect you all from the hut and takes you to a very large and elaborate looking tent that looks less permanent than the other structures. And as you come in, you see Sakal is standing, and he seems to be preparing for the ritual over the corpse of Lascar, who is laid out on a bed, and he looks up at you. Oh. Hello. Are you ready for your question?
Steven!
This feels so, like, unnatural, but we need to know this.
I can assure you the natural order is not disturbed. We speak only with the spirit of the departed. We don't rip it back.
I know, I just feel bad because this dude died and died again, and now getting brought back for questioning. You know, that's just...
If it's any consideration, I don't think the one we're going to talk to endured 2 deaths, but only the first.
That's a plus. That you know, that's positive. Maybe we shouldn't tell him, though. But...
I think he knows that he's dead.
No, but I meant like that he got turned into a walking corpse.
Oh.
I don't know how this goes. I'm just... If I was dead, I wouldn't want to be told that, yeah, you're a walking corpse.
Kind of nods. Fair point. Okay. We will have 10 minutes once the ritual has started. So you can change your questions once we begin, but once we begin, there will only be 10 minutes to speak to the spirit.
I'm gonna sit on the floor, Indian style.
We would like to ask some questions of you before we start.
Oh, of course.
This particular lizard, how long have you known him?
He came to us. It's been over 6 months, but it has not been a year.
Okay, so you
This
didn't
was
know
the
who
first
he
I
was
met him.
then until okay. Well, that lays all the questions out. We were hoping that maybe you would know at least who he was, or where was he from? What area was he from?
It's difficult to say. He never offered this up. However, I will say, just based off of his appearance, I don't think that he originated from the swamps of Hana.
Oh, really? Why? Is there a difference? I'm gonna start looking at him and the other ones around, see if I can tell a difference.
There's definitely a difference.
Did you find any of his people?
We did find a couple, but they seem less than cooperative.
Wait, so
Wait, are they still alive?
They are.
So other people came with him that are here in the village now?
A small band, yes.
Should we talk to them before we start this?
That's up to you.
Ah, Dee Dee, you are so wise.
I'm sorry.
You're so wise.
I think he just wanted to hear you say that again.
Thank you.
You know, there's a spell that makes people tell the truth, and I wish I knew it, but I don't. That's too bad. You wouldn't happen to know that spell, would you, Mr. Steven?
Shakes his head.
Do they speak common? The ones from his herd or party or pack? I'm not really sure what you guys would call
I wouldn't-
a group of
I
movement.
wouldn't know tribe, but no, I wouldn't know without asking them directly, and that's not typically one of the questions that we ask. We speak to one
Lily-
another in our tongue.
Lily would be able to speak to them. She knows the language very well, so maybe we should go speak to them first real quick. What do you think, Lily? Would you be up for questioning the others?
I would, but at the same time, I feel like if I appeared different, they might talk to me better. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we could try. There's no harm in trying.
Are you still able to change yourself into a little
Not right now.
dragon child? No, oh, that's too bad.
I just think it'd help because then we could get a couple of our questions answered, and then that would free up for us to ask different questions.
Well, I wonder if they knew he was an undead creature.
Well, if they did, that seems like a problem that might need to be resolved too, because that might just cause more issues down the road for Seagal and the new community.
Well, if they didn't know, then maybe they'd be willing to speak about him more.
But they might have been oppressed, and
Let's go try it because we have limited questions with the courts
Let's do that.
and not with them. We can ask as much as we want of them.
Yeah,
I-
let's do that.
Would ask if possible. Obviously, I have not been able to keep this entirely cloaked, but I would ask if possible that we don't start spreading around to anyone else that this was undead until we can hopefully discern a little bit more about it. So if you do speak to this prisoner, try to avoid that if possible.
He's a prisoner.
At this moment, yes.
What do you know about undead?
Me?
Yeah.
That it's definitely against all that Samwanya stands for. With Samwanya, you live, you exist, you fight to exist, and then eventually you die, and that is the cycle.
Does Savanya have tools to fight against undead?
The same tools we use to fight anything else.
Because my tools are ineffective. And if there's
Are you,
more,
sir?
I'm going to need aid in helping take out others if we do encounter more.
Well,
Make me think that your tools were ineffective.
Because every time I hit it, it grew back.
I think every time we hit it, it just chunks of meat fell off. But
You were being effective. It's just it didn't slow down and it took a lot more.
I'm just looking for more help.
That light started hitting it, and then that looked like it hurt.
Then we need light.
Or fire. I wonder if fire would be the same. So, is there a way to check this? Because now I'm just thinking, if he was undead and he came wandered in with another group, what if that other group was undead?
Right? It would be nice to have tools that were more effective than my sword.
Well,
Is there a way we can like test someone? I mean, can we just check like the pulse? Would that be a thing? I don't know.
There's a way. We just need to go to these prisoners and or prisoner and not reveal everything. I think me and Carrick might be able to get some answers.
So you two are gonna go? You want us to stay away, or?
I mean, you can come. I would just I don't want to say don't talk,
just
but maybe
have to
limit
be really careful.
your
I'm
question.
very persuasive when I talk, I think.
I think you will find that one of your biggest blessings and also somewhat of a curse is that most people
Okay.
here speak only Draconic.
I can understand, but I can't speak.
Maybe you should like take us and put us near them as if we're prisoners, and we just will sit and listen, and maybe before we start to talk to them, give them a couple of minutes and see what they say while we're sitting there, and maybe Lily will understand something, or maybe just take Lily in and like she's in trouble too, and sit her near enough to hear and let her observe them speaking for maybe about 10 minutes before we come in and start to ask questions. Maybe they'll say something.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
perhaps-
we have socks.
oh yeah, we do have some.
So we could like use socks as a bait to talk to this thing. But I don't know how comfortable Socks is doing that, or if he's
I mean, we could ask him, Socks. Would you like to see if you could find out a few questions for us? Where is Socks? I don't know. Is Socks even awake?
Socks would have stuck with Clintrap and Tonka, and I was actually curious because I haven't heard Krillock say anything. I don't know if Krillock went with you guys at this point. I didn't hear him
No.
say it.
He'd pretty much be hanging out with his uncle the whole time, just trying to make sure everything is good because he was like completely worried about him. So like, he doesn't give a shit. The lizard folk is dead. That's all he cares about, and that his uncle's safe.
Well, then I'd say that we could always let Lily go in first and see if they say anything when she walks in.
And when I say that, you guys can go back and ask Socks, or you can ask Tonka if he wanted to go for, the sake of having Tonka, since you know that he is capable of holy things. Maybe something will come to him, but that's one of those, like, if you guys want to ask them, that's something that they might want to do. So don't think that I'm taking that off the table. They wouldn't have gone with you unless they had been invited to go.
What do you think, Lily?
Let's I can go in and we'll see, and then we can figure something else out. This is they might not know anything at all, and this could be a waste, and we're putting a lot of effort into it. They could have just been following their leader.
The things I'm curious of is if they know what he is, and if they are like him.
Yeah.
I suspect they are not like him.
No, I don't think so. So
That's why I think he was hiding behind this trinket.
yeah, let's go ask them some questions, and then we'll see about that ritual to talk to the corpse.
Okay, fair enough.
Try to swap the music up here real quick. See if I can find something more fitting here. Hold on. I really need to label this stuff better. That's ominous. That's ominous. We'll go with that. So Sakal, in Draconic, will speak to one of a pair of guards that's standing outside of this temporary structure that apparently Lascar had been living in, and he's going to have them to escort you to where these other two are being held. You go around some tents. It's probably about a 5 to 10 minute walk that you're walking. Bless you. That you're walking just on the way through, and you end up at a small spot that's on the outskirts of the lizard folk village that is mainly disconnected from the village proper. It seems to be something that was constructed pretty hastily. It looks like it's been newly constructed pretty hastily. And as you're taken to the entrance, you can see that there's another pair of guards that's standing on the outside of this particular tent on either side of the doorway. And they kind of nod as the one approaches with you all. And they speak in Draconic back and forth to one another, which ultimately it's a conversation of Sikal sent us. They want to speak to the prisoners. Yes, they have permission, blah, blah, blah. And they open up the tent and allow it, just slightly open up the tent, looking around to whomever is going to enter.
Okay, so Lily is gonna walk in.
Was your plan to go in alone? I think.
Yeah, I
That's the
think so.
question.
Because they don't speak Draconic. Well, Dee Dee can understand it, so I guess she's gonna like motion for Dee Dee to come.
Okay, I will come as she motions. The wording in all my things.
Okay, so they're bound up.
A word of silence for our dignity. So Ari, are you staying outside of the tent, or are you wanting to accompany them in?
I'll go with them. I won't be of any use though.
Give me one moment for a phone call here.
So are we all going in, or is it just you?
You can come in, since at this point everybody else is in besides Carrick. So
What do you mean,
I'm
Chris?
just there for moral support.
Are we going into the guys that we are also in trouble, or are you just
no, I'm just gonna ask them questions.
Kurlak is with his uncle.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Well, let's go then, and I'll pat Lily on the shoulder and say good luck.
I will hang back though, as I'm not going to be able to understand what they're saying.
Okay.
But just in eyesight of them.
All right, so you enter, and there's 2 more guards on the inside of this table. And on the opposite side, there's 2 posts that have been driven into the ground, and there's 2 lizard folk that are currently chained to it with their arms behind their back, and they're just sitting on the ground.
I'm thinking Pocahontas right now. All right.
Yeah, do
No, like how they're tied up. Anyways. Lily's gonna look into the guards that are in the tent and say, have they been given water?
one will nod to you.
Okay.
They don't look like they've been beaten or anything. They look like
No. She's trying to like show that she's not there to hurt them. She's making sure that they were taken care of, as in the next of life.
Hearing that, I'm still gonna go and find a water bucket, like I guess I don't know, water. Is there a water bucket or around? If I can see.
Sure.
You're saying shore?
Yeah. There's a bucket that has fresh water in it and a ladle.
Okay, I'm gonna grab that and walk over to them and attempt to like, hey.
One of them just kind of shakes their head, and the other one follows suit but says no.
We don't
Okay.
blame you for what happened here. We understand that you were following Lascar, and we just want to know why. And do you believe that he was offering to Sinwanya, or do you know that there was something else?
Lascar is the hero of our people, the arm of Simwanya.
Your people being all the lizard folk, or only your tribe?
Lascar should speak for all lizard folk. Lascar is the conqueror. He is the ruler.
Were you there at the Snout War? Was Lascar there?
Lascar is the hero of the Snout, the conqueror.
So he didn't fall there.
Lascar, he sort of looks down. He doesn't say anything else.
Can I insight that?
Sure. What are you inciting for exactly?
The way he's looking to see if
Okay.
I'm looking at a person that's thinking that, oh shit, did he die? Wait.
You're not
I'm
really.
going to offer more water.
He's going to again politely decline.
Now that he's fallen again, do you believe he will come back and be your hero again?
At this point, he just looks up at you, and you can see that he looks angry. It's not like an outright rage, but it's just he's looking at you angrily.
I'm gonna whisper in Lily's ear. Do you think he's just getting mad because you're taunting him that his leader has fallen, or do you think he might actually know something?
This is all being said in Draconic, right?
Yeah.
Ask him who was Lascar before he was Lascar.
Before Lascar became your hero, did you know his common name? His name that he went by?
Lascar is only Lascar. Lascar, the conqueror, the hand of Samwanya. Sorry, the arm of Samwanya.
So Sakal believes in a different way. Does that anger you, or do your people just view things differently? I'm trying to understand. I want to help you, and I know I'm an outsider, but I want you to be able to be with your people who believe in Sinwanya.
I feel like you know nothing of Samwanya.
I
I
don't.
feel like these people know nothing of Samwanya.
You know, it seems
Look
like
over to the other guard.
I'm gonna look at Lily. It's like they're like reading the same book, but like two versions of the book. Does do I see a response out of him? Does he like look like he understood anything I said?
No, you get nothing out of either one of them that are sitting there.
When Lascar, when he fell the first time, did someone help him come back to be your conqueror again?
As soon as you say failed the first time, he lashes out in rage and he screams at you in Draconic, Lascar has not fallen!
Ooh, ask him if he's fallen or if he's fallen now. Oh, wait, hold on. Did these? I'm gonna look back at the shaman and I'm gonna ask, do they know that he's dead? I'm gonna go ask that real quick and come back.
They look at you utterly confused as you speak to them in common because they only speak.
No. I'm gonna go ask Steven. I'm gonna step away and go real
Steven
quick.
is not anywhere near here. He's back. So you're gonna go the 10-minute walk because it's a 10-minute walk to get back to Steven. Okay.
No.
And his name's not Steven.
Yes, it is. Steven, the call.
Lily, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere here.
Ask him if he saw what become of Lascar at the end of the fight today. Ask him if he was there during the battle with us.
The turtles have defeated your conqueror. Who was he helping? Who is going to become your new conqueror?
Through gritted teeth, he just looks up at you. Lascar is the conqueror. That's it.
Ari, can you puncture his foot?
I can puncture his foot. I will do that.
You're just gonna jam in the.
Yeah, he don't know it's coming. He can't understand.
No, roll it. Yeah, you don't even have to roll to hit. You just jab your rapier right on in there. It just all you got to roll is damage.
We'll have to roll back.
Well, I think that would hit anyway.
Definitely. So as you draw your rapier and stab him in the foot, the two guards start reaching for their weapons and look at each other like they're not sure what's happening, and they're like halfway, sort of arming themselves, but they don't seem to be committed to one thing or another at this point, and they look confused.
I'm sorry. I had a feeling that maybe they were in disguise. These lizard folk, they were not what they appear. I just wanted to check. I apologize for surprising you.
The prisoner though is bleeding profusely from his foot at this point, as you just jabbed a rapier basically through it.
Well, that proves nothing.
I'm gonna try. So he's
Profusely
bleeding.
from jabbing with a rapier? It's just like a stab.
Puncture
I
wound.
jab pretty hard.
That's a pretty gnarly puncture wound right to the
In the
foot.
foot.
All right, Lily's gonna attempt to bandage it.
That's the way we roll.
Light.
Stab and bandage. Stab and bandage.
I stabbed hard.
Oh man.
You know what? That's a really good medicine check, and so I will. He is trying to kick at you while you're trying to do this. He's not just trying to get his foot away from you. He is trying to kick you while you're doing this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help and restrain him while she does that.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll then I won't even make an attack at it. you sort of restrain him while she bandages the foot, and he's cursing at you in Draconic, just absolutely calling you every name that he can possibly think of, and some probably picking up.
Now, dude.
Okay.
Calm down. No need for that.
Dee Dee, is there anything else? I don't feel like
Only one guy's talking, right?
Mm.
I want to pat him down, looking for any kind of like like a medallion like we found or they pulled off of.
You're looking for a charm?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me an investigation check and do it with advantage because you know what you're looking for, and he's tied. No, you don't. You don't find anything like what was found on last.
Okay. Why is the other guy not talking, Lily? Like,
because he's a prisoner and we're the ones that did this to them, basically. They have no reason to talk to us.
What were you looking for, Dee Dee?
what you guys found on Lascar?
Oh, well, let me check this one. I'm gonna go check the other one for it.
So you're going to the one that's not talking to try to pat him down.
Yeah.
The entire time.
I went to. But
Oh, that's the one you went.
yeah, because seeing the other dude bleeding, I know he's not. So I went and pat the other guy down.
Oh, I thought you were holding down the other guy. So you held down the other guy and then you checked the other dude afterwards.
Yes. If
Okay.
I was able to do that, I don't.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So one's been checked. The other. So you want to check the. You want to try to check the other one that's
I'll check the other one since I know what he's looking for.
All right. Well, if as you get close, he is going to be trying to kick at you. So,
I'll go behind him. I mean, I'll no, and I'll walk behind him and pat him down from behind. You know, it's almost over. It's almost over. Oh, you're cold.
you don't find anything that resembles the charm that Lascar had on him either.
Okay, so no charms. Nope. He's not charming. That's funny, right? Charming. Get it? Never mind.
Any other circumstance, I think that would be a funny joke. But
Wait, why are you looking for a charm? What kind of charm?
Because Lascar had a charm.
I want to
Oh,
see
yeah.
this charm that Lascar had.
And I'm going to hold it up and I'm going to tell him what it is. And I'm going to hold it up so they see it as well. It's this. It basically helped to keep people from being able to know what sort of thing he was. It shielded him against scrying and against certain magics that would be used to tell if he was undead or not. Because he certainly was not. And I'm going to look around shifty-eyed. I mean, yeah, totally not.
So what does this charm look like?
It was a cage, right?
Yeah, you're going to be looking at like an egg-shaped cage thing. It's going to be really small and like about that big, and it's got like a white pearl like on the inside of it. And it also helps to keep you from being subject to truth spells. So if someone was to cast a spell on him to force him to tell the truth, he would have been able to resist that spell. It's quite ingenious, really, and it gives off a very low amount of magic.
I think this is all the information we're going to get from them. I think I have
I
made them
think so.
very mad by saying that their conqueror, their hero, is dead twice.
Yes, but I'm just wondering if maybe they just refuse to believe it, or if they know he was.
I think they
Brought back.
do know, but they're not going to tell me any more information.
So how do you know so
Fair
much
enough.
about this amulet?
Because I sat down and I cast spells on it and
So it's not
figured out.
common. It's not like
No, it's definitely not a common thing. This was made specifically for him. This is nothing I've ever even heard of existing. It's specifically designed, I think, to assist him on his mission.
It was designed for him.
I would suspect so. I've never seen or heard of anybody making anything like this before, so I would think this is probably something. It's very, put it this way, it's
So-
very suited to keep him from being found out by people.
So somebody designed a amulet for an undead creature so that couldn't be determined if it was lying or not.
Well, and it also couldn't be detected as being undead. You couldn't cast a spell on it in order to figure out if it was undead or not.
Okay.
It's very, very much ingeniously designed for his mission. Whether it was made specifically for him or not, I do not know. But if it wasn't, it certainly falls into his mission perfectly.
I'm just starting to think. So we kind of got the hint, or as Lily was questioning him, what I understood from what he answered, he kind of knew he died at Snout.
Snout, possibly, yes.
Well, was Seagull there?
No, Seagal. Stephen was not there. No. And do the two give a reaction when they see me showing the charm to the group? But
They
they
don't
don't
seem
even.
to
They.
So
Alright.
my next thought is who was I guess the chief or chieftain, or I don't know their
He was.
political during this Snout battle.
All we know is that he was there.
Oh, that's all we know. He participated in that.
He was the hero.
He was the hero.
He was the conqueror.
The arm of the conqueror or something. I don't know.
No,
him.
but-
Oh, you know what?
He's
If
the
he's
arm of
the
Senwana,
conqueror-
the hero of Snout, the conqueror.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
but anyone could be that. That just
Yes, that is going to be, that changes our questions a bit, because now we have found out more information that he
Ask
was
them-
Lascar when he went to Snout. So
Ask them real quick who is in charge of Lascar.
I'll try.
No, don't say Lascar because they get really aggressive with that. Ask who, like their chieftain, or who gave the order for the attack. Who initiated the battle to start?
He was the arm. I'm just wondering if he was given the order.
Well,
Can you
I-
please tell me who sent Lascar to become the conqueror of Snout? Who made him your hero? Who made him the conqueror? I know he did it himself, but who put him on his path to become your hero?
He looks at you with dark, slitted beads of hatred, and he just turns and spits on the floor, and then looks back up at you.
Well, thank you for not spitting on me. I mean, I know you are very angry at me, but decency is nice. I know I'm trying to be very decent with you.
I kicked dirt over the spit.
Well, it looks like we're done here.
Yes, I don't think they're going to tell us anymore. But maybe asking Sakal, and then of course Lascar. Maybe we can find out some more information, like who sent him and whatnot.
Okay, well, I'm gonna wave to them. Bye, and I'm gonna start walking away.
The one that has been silent the whole time is still stoically staring straight ahead from his spot. He has shown no emotional reaction except when his friend got stabbed in the foot, and then he looked exceptionally startled and then immediately went back to staring stoically. But the other one is still just beads of hate, just slitted eyes watching you all leave.
Wait, so he got afraid of being stabbed?
And when you stabbed his friend, yeah, it
definitely
scared the shit out of him. He was not expecting that, and he was not ready for it.
I don't want to torture them. If that needs to come from Sakal. We don't do that. But I think maybe telling Sakal that maybe that one could be shocked into talking might be good. But I don't know. I don't do that. I refuse to do that.
Or separating them.
That could work too. But again,
And then telling the other one that he said this, and then go back to the other one and said he said this.
That's one of my favorite community episodes. It's the second D&D community episode.
Before we leave, I'm going to ask Lily to a question. Can you ask the guard here what is like what smell is it that lizard folk hate the worst? Just like what is the worst thing that they would like when they smell it? They're like, oh, that is the worst.
I'm just gonna turn to the guards in the tent and say thank you. Again, I apologize for the disruption here, and we just had a quick question for you. And what is the worst smell you've ever come across?
That's not exactly what he asked, Lily.
Are you writing for a book or something?
Yes. Do you want to see my notebook? I'm
That's a
just
really
very
strange
curious.
question to ask someone.
She's gonna like flip through her notebook, and it has like drawings of animals that make no sense, like I can't think of it. The possum and the platypus.
He's gonna nod to his other guard and go, Rictar's breath. And then the other one's gonna be like, hey, screw you. And then they make a joke out of it.
They say bad breath.
Bad breath, really? Like they don't have like a thing that like repulses all lizard folk. Like when they smell it, it's like, oh god, that get away from it. Because like
I think that
most of us we don't like rotten
Maybe
flesh.
it's Krillock.
They
Maybe
may-
Krillock smells really bad to them because he's a turtle.
I think that's a little judgmental there.
Is
Yeah,
there
you
a
know,
smell that all lizard folk hate? And if you could be serious, my friend here really wants to know.
I'm gonna wave.
This is very odd.
Yeah,
Is this as awkward for you as it is for me?
yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Tell him, I don't know, like, I mean, there's a plant that grows out in the swamp that smells really bad. What's it called? He turns to the other guy. He's like, those death caps or whatever? No, that's the mushroom. Yeah, I don't know. It's some plant. I don't know what it is, though. I don't know the name of it. I mean, it's gross, but I mean, it's kind of hard for me to answer that when I don't really know what it's called. Just go with, like, a fart. Farts smell bad.
Like a dog fart?
Lily's just gonna thank you and walk out the tent as fast as she can.
What did they say? What did they say?
I don't know, like they said a fart or a really bad smelling
Good.
plant.
I'm gonna turn around and cast prestidigitation right between them, and put a fart right there. And it's gonna last for an hour, and that's it.
Between the guards?
No. Between the
Okay.
two. No, not the guards. The worst fart smell that I can think of in my mind, and I'm just gonna plant it there, and I'm gonna walk away and not say a word.
All right. They are
Yeah,
forced to
that's
stay fart for now.
All right, so we're walking back to Seagal, right?
It's great content like that makes people want to hit that follow button. Don't forget.
Damn right. Fart smell.
Alright. So you're going back to Sikal. The guard that escorted you there is still waiting outside, and he's waiting to escort you back if you're ready to go back and proceed with the ritual. Is there anything else, or is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I'd say we're definitely going to go back and talk to Seagal and prepare for that.
So what did we learn? Do we want to change anything?
Sakal. When we get to Sakal, Lily would ask, like, did you know he was the hero of Snout?
He looks kind of confused. The snout.
It was a turtle settlement that was taken over by lizard folk, and his people, Lasgard, called him the Conqueror, the Arm of Sigmonia, the hero of Snout. So basically, he slaughtered turtles and became the hero from that.
I've heard of the snout only through the stories that he and his warriors brought with them.
Okay.
I was born in this village, raised in this village, and Simwanya allows I will die here. But I've never been anywhere other than this swamp. So I'm not sure of this snout.
So that was a different tribe that did that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
You remember to tell that to Kerlock.
I guess we're about to ask some questions then, and I'll take the questions we had wrote down and I'll hand them to Lily, and I guess it's all on you.
Okay.
I think is it we ask the questions or do you, Seagal?
Sakal has to ask them.
Okay.
I think
There's only 5, so no one else needs to ask a question just out of the blue, because if you do, it will count. So don't blurt out any questions.
So I feel like the first question we should ask is, who sent you to conquer Snout?
I think the first question we should ask is where he died.
He died in Snout.
What we think.
Yeah, that's that.
The way his follower acted
Oh,
makes
I
me feel
saw
like
that.
he did.
And the way he said it, or the way he didn't say anything when you asked the question, it made it seem like he did die there.
So his followers said he died there.
They didn't say he died there.
They don't want to say that he fell. They refuse to acknowledge that he has died at all.
It certainly did feel that way, but I don't know.
So I just want to know what the first question should be, like, so we can tell him.
Well, the first question I was leaning towards.
I would ask how he died.
I think that's a good first question.
So how did he die? And then who sent him?
How and where did he die?
He wouldn't know who.
Is that one question? How and when? Or is that 2 questions?
Well, I would say, when did you die? Because that way we'll know if he died before. Well, yeah, he definitely would have been done before today. So how he died would probably be the first question.
Well, that could be a very vague question.
Who sent him would not
answer it.
Who sent him is part of his undead life.
I don't think we would know that one, because if he's dead and he got brought up, I don't know. This whole dead thing is confusing. I think when he died would be good, or where he died.
Where did he die? Let's start with that one.
Because maybe he'll answer and say at Snout, and that answers 2 of our questions.
Yeah. Or he could have been dead before he went to Snout. So that is good. We should ask, where did he die? Okay.
Ready, set, go.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you tell Sakal that your question is, wait, well, which one was it? 'Cause
I
I
don't
just
know.
read there.
Where
We've done
did
fucked this up.
you die?
Right,
And I will take the
Sakal
lead on this and be
cast lightning bolt on you.
Yep,
No.
you got the lead.
So, all right. So where did you die? Is question number one.
Yes.
As soon as he finishes this,
I know it's 10 minutes.
I'm starting a time.
Yes.
So you've got 10
Yes.
minutes. Okay. Sakal goes around the room and he starts lighting some ceremonial candles that have been set up. And he kneels down next to the corpse and he starts chanting in Draconic. And eventually, as he continues to chant, the flames start to lower and lower and lower. And it starts to get cold. And as it starts to get cold, you can see your breath. And a faint sort of aura starts to emanate from around the body of Lascar. And suddenly, you just hear what seems to be a ghostly gasp for air. And then Sakal says, hold on, I'm getting my stuff ready here. I'm doing y'all fair. I don't want to do you dirty. I'm getting ready. So then Sakal says, I didn't hit it yet. That's what I was doing. So he says, where did you die? I died on the altar in the snout.
Who was your leader?
Lascar alone leads.
Interesting. On an altar? That's why he died on an altar. I mean, means he was a sacrifice. I wonder if he was a
Yeah.
willing sacrifice. Who created him, perhaps, is a good question.
Or no, maybe. But it could be after he's died. Perhaps who actually killed him.
Who?
Who
Yeah,
killed
maybe.
you?
The Dark One with 4 horns and 6 arms.
For what purpose were you killed?
I was killed for my failure.
Well, there's a natural question right there.
Now, DM, I'm gonna phrase this, and it could backfire at me completely.
You got 8 minutes left, so don't feel rushed.
Yeah.
You guys have if you're gonna have an in character discussion though, I need to hit the resume button. But if this is an out of character question, then you can ask me out of character.
If I ask, what was your mission and how did you fail? That's 2 questions.
2 questions.
Okay.
Which could lead to the same outcome. I'm not saying that it would, but it's something to consider.
So you guys, we have 1 question left.
I hit resume.
Who's the dark one?
I don't know if that's
One with 4 horns
Yo,
and
I
6
mean-
arms.
I mean,
that we could.
He
we might
would
be
have
able to
told
find
us
that out.
truthfully who the dark one was if he knew. That's the only thing.
All right, I'm going to pause on that because there is nothing that says that he cannot cryptically answer anything from beyond the grave. However, he will answer any questions. Let me just do this. So the corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer. If you are hostile to it, or it recognizes you as an enemy.
I was not fighting it. But is Seagal asking the questions? Because he's doing the ritual.
The questions are coming from Sakal, but that being said, it has offered information at this point because it itself, you have to consider too the timeline. This spirit does not know you as an enemy.
That's true.
It doesn't know Sakal as an enemy. So at this point, you can assume that these answers have been forthcoming and honest based off the spell. But cryptic or not, it would still hold some secrets close in the afterlife that it thought were secrets that needed to be held before it died. So there could be some crypticism to this. But aside from that, I'm gonna hit resume now.
I still think that's a good question, asking who the Dark One with 6 arms and a horn, or where the Dark One is, or where he rules or presides, or
Where? I do like where.
Well, there's two things we're trying to figure out. Is definitely going to be who this person is, but then and also there's why is he so intent to kill turtles? Because here they are again attacking turtles. I'm just wondering if
That's why I
there's
want to
some-
know how he failed, but it's ultimately up to you guys. I asked my questions, so I want to make sure that everyone's getting what they need.
well, I would feel fine to let you choose the questions because in your mind you have a path you're on, and if we separate out and each get a question, then we're scattering
but there's
a
only one.
line of knowledge.
Well, clearly we have to go somewhere. I think questions should be where-ish. Because it's not here. He came from somewhere. Like maybe where he lived his life, or I have no idea.
Now I got a question real quick. Pause. With
6
him
minutes and
dis-
47 seconds. Go
with
ahead.
him describing what I'm going to assume, since we got 4 horns and 6 arms. With all of my knowledge and book reading, is that going to ring a bell with my character? Would I have any knowledge of what demon or deity or god type thing this would be?
You can make a religion check.
Religion check I shall make.
Would that like be
All
a
right.
historical thing for those kind of things?
22.
Well, never mind. I got 22.
This does not fit with any description of a demon or a god that you're familiar with.
Is there a species? Same role? Well, I guess it wouldn't be a religion. Is there a species that would come to mind?
I can. We're operating on pause time right now, but so I would say that you can make a history check as well, and this doesn't fit with the species that you're familiar with either. So just in that very moment with Carrick thinking about this after it said it doesn't fit with any deity, devil, god, or goddess that he is familiar with, and it doesn't fit with any sort of species. You've not heard of any sort of creature with 6 arms and 4 horns.
Okay.
Are we back on the clock?
Not yet. I'm sorry. I got a call about or a text about my emergency here. Let me finish texting this back, and then I'll just one more second.
Because the truth is, he could not know who the deity is or who the Dark One is. And you guys want to go to a place where we could go to Snout and see.
Well, Snout is definitely where he
resumed.
died. How he got there? How did he? What is Snout?
Snout is a
correct.
turtle colony.
We can definitely find
Where
out
is
some
Snout?
questions there as well. I mean, he was killed because he failed. So obviously they killed him and made him stronger and more unstoppable. So that makes me think that his mission was given to him and then he failed. Maybe the question should be, what was your mission that you failed? That way we know what he was attempting to do, and maybe that will help us to prevent this horned armed creature from doing it again.
I think Lily would agree with you on that.
I like the idea of the mission or the purpose or the goal, and I'm also kind of leaning to um, who this dark one is.
I think we can probably find that out when we go to Snout if we end up going there, which we probably are at this point.
Yeah, we're going there.
What was your mission that you failed?
And all right, so Sakal asks this onto the spirit of Lascar, and he just to find the gemstone, and that's it. And then with the life leaves from the corpse, warmth comes back into the room as the candles flare back up to their normal light, and then Sakal, sort of catching his breath, leans over and then looks up. I hope you have learned what you needed.
All right, DM, gemstone, is that what it said? Because you were really quiet to me.
Yes, to find the gemstone.
Obviously, this is something that the Tortles must possess, so perhaps this is a question we should take back to the elders.
Snout, like, is it an abandoned town now, or is it a back and thriving?
We have
It's
to go
almost
ask the
new.
turtles.
We'll have to ask that when we get back. We don't know. Thank you, Stephen. You've been most helpful.
I don't know. Maybe Krillak might have some answers or know some of these.
I don't know if he's in the right mindset right now.
Or his uncle. His uncle's been around for a while.
Definitely not the right time.
I think it.
Sakal stands up and makes his way over to a table on the other side of the tent and picks something up, and it comes over as you're leaving. Wait, this was Lascar's as well, and I'm not sure what it is or where he got it, but maybe it will mean something for your mission. And he hands you a mysterious little puzzle box that has it's a perfect little squared cube that has various different little turns, dials, switches, and hidden push buttons on it. And it I'm going to put it in everyone's.
Oh well, I'm gonna have to
Everybody-
like ritually cast those spells again. I wish that like I could cast those spells without having a ritual, because it takes so long to do.
Okay. So do you want me to take it? I could do it real quick.
Wait, you could do it? What? I didn't know you could do it. What do you? What spell?
I just, my goggles, they have the ability to identify something.
Oh, get the hell out of here! Here, take it and see what this is.
Are we supposed to be seeing something, DM?
Oh, I gave it to everybody, but here, let me. Here,
Ooh, pretty puzzle. Okay, so Lily is going to pull down her goggles and cast Identify on the mysterious puzzle dog.
That's amazing. Those goggles do that.
It's not a magic light. It's just a puzzle.
It's a fucking Rubik's Cube.
In a sense.
She's gonna hand it back to Carrick and say, "I really want to play with this, but I
Wait, is it
just
not magic?
Take it, please. It's
Okay,
not
I
magical."
take it back. Wait, are you sure?
Yes.
Those goggles, do they work?
It looks like something out of Hellraiser.
You know I'm gonna have to like cast that spell just to make sure your goggles aren't broke now, right?
I mean, you could cast Detect Magic that probably.
I'm
Except,
totally
like,
not gonna do it.
yeah.
I totally plan to do it like after we like go to bed or I'm gonna like in the nighttime definitely do that.
Sikal, have you heard of the dark one with 4 horns and 6 arms?
Skull shakes his head.
Can any of y'all detect evil?
We are not clerics.
I don't know what you can do.
Oh, trust me, I've been like trying to figure out how to like multi-class this, but nope, not a cleric.
I just find the appearance of that thing
Yeah,
unsettling.
I'm sure we could probably find a cleric somewhere that could maybe help us.
Hey, what about Tonka? He's been practicing.
Yeah, maybe Tonka, maybe he would know, but perhaps we should go back to the camp and get a bite to eat. And
I
maybe
am going to
sleep.
say, do not mention that he
Can
was
I
at
see what-
Snout and that he was the conqueror of Snout. Krillek's going through enough. I don't think
Actually,
we want to do that right
I
now.
Like Krillek knows that the so-called hero of Snout is dead. And
I think once his
Ooh,
uncle is
Krillek
back
gave her a
in
final
somewhere
blow, like-
safe,
I don't know. From what I have gathered from Krillek, just by
Dee,
observing,
Krillek is my friend, and I'm asking you, don't do it now. I've known
Fair
him
enough.
for a longer time, and I'm asking you, please don't do this right now.
He is a little emotional. I don't know that he could take all that at once. We should probably let this soak in a bit.
to me, I think he would see that as a win. He got his revenge. He got his dues. He
We
got
are going to have to tell him eventually if we're planning to go.
however that saying goes.
Yes, I know, but I feel like getting him and his uncle back to the turtles and checking on the turtles might be easier.
You know, come to think of it, we all should have came over here. We probably should have. Someone should have stayed over there with him.
Because he's probably going to want to go and kill those people in the tent and cause havoc in this
I'm not
place.
saying about those. I'm just saying about.
Well, we don't need to tell him that there's prisoners. That's completely off the table. We shouldn't tell him there was any survivors from that group. Let the lizard folk here deal with their own issues. I have a feeling they're probably going to be executed in time as well. So
Thank you, Sikol. We found out a lot of information. We really appreciate your help.
So how
You've
big is
delivered
this
my
puzzle?
people back to Samanya. I am forever in your debt.
How
Hey,
big is this
Kurt.
puzzle?
The puzzle?
Yeah.
The puzzle itself is about. I'm trying to gauge based off my fingers here. I'm gonna say it's probably roughly between 6 and 8 inches, and it's a cube.
So it's rather large.
It's not like palm sized. It's definitely a little bit big. I mean, it's a puzzle box. It's obviously a puzzle box. So you suspect that once you solve this puzzle box, that there's probably something, or not probably, but there could be something inside of this box.
Well, yeah.
So it would have to be big enough to contain something.
when I shake it, is anything inside rattle?
You can't hear it.
Kurt, can I see the box?
I'll hand him the box. Is there anything? When I shake the box, is there anything inside of it? Is there anything inside the box when I shake it?
You said that you didn't
No,
hear.
he can't hear anything.
What?
He said you can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
No, there's nothing.
Oh,
You can't hear anything in the
hear
box.
nothing in the box.
Okay. I thought you were talking. I thought he said I can't hear you, like me. Okay.
No.
I don't. Have I ever like in my whole? Can I do a history check to see if I've ever read about any kind of little boxes like this?
I imagine in your 19 years of existence in Providence, you have probably heard of a puzzle box.
Okay.
It's literally just a
Oh,
box.
okay.
Yeah, instead of having your typical lock and key, this has a puzzle that normally the owner knows how to solve so that they can open it up without being responsible for having to keep up with the key.
Okay. I'm gonna start fiddling with it.
Um,
Okay. Make.
Carrick has it.
Oh, Carrick has it.
well, I handed it to him. As he starts to mess with it, I'm gonna tell him, you do know that I like, that's my thing, like locks.
Oh well. Why didn't you like? I'm
But
already.
you said you wanted to see it, so I mean, I handed it to you. But I mean, if you want to tinker with it, you can. But I mean, I can, I could probably unlock it.
Well, I already started fiddling with it.
Then you may make a intelligence check. Just a straight intelligence check, please.
Just straight intelligence check.
No one cares that you speak Undercommon, Lily.
So
I
a
care.
saving throw.
No. If
Like
you look at your
intelligence.
character sheet, hold on. Yeah, just click on the word intelligence. It should do it.
Oh, okay.
All right. With that 19, you seem to be making. It seems like this is going to be a very long process. So you're going to have to dedicate. Let me put it this way. You start messing with it, and Dee Dee, you feel like you're making some progress, but you also feel like this is something that's not knowing the sequence is going to take hours to do. So you can take an hour to continue to work on this and not do anything else for the next hour, or you can sort of put it to the side and wait. But it's up to you, however you want to do it. Because you're going to have to dedicate at least 1 hour to work on this at a time.
It's still early in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look back at Carrick. Do you want to do it, or I mean, I got a good feel. I don't know. I like
Oh
puzzles.
yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I mean, I'm up to you. I mean, I'm good at these things, but I mean, if you feel like that's your thing, then you roll on. I mean, it's up to you.
What do you think you could do it quicker? Then, because it's gonna take me a while.
I've never been one to like, like harp on how smart I am or anything, but
Okay,
I'm
no,
pretty
no.
smart. I mean, my family does locks. That's what we do.
Lily's just gonna start walking back to Krillock in the big tent while they're talking about the box.
I'll take it from him, and I'll work on it when we get back.
All right. So you make your way back to the tent. Now, Krillock, with the individuals that you have had in the tent for this has been a good stint of time at this point. The individuals that you have in the tent, obviously, there's Tonka, who's been sitting over there, turning a light on and turning it off every now and then. He's still practicing diligently. Socks, it looks like, has drifted back off to sleep. He's currently like legs up against the bed, back on the floor. So like he's laid on the floor on his back with his legs straight up against the bed, snoring. And your uncle has been looking up at the ceiling. He looked up at the ceiling for a good while, but then he seemed to kind of doze off, and he seems to be resting comfortably. So, it's kind of up to you if you want to try to engage with somebody in the tent. You can certainly do that while you're waiting for them to get back, or you could just patiently wait.
Pretty much just gonna be hanging out there, and I mean, if somebody comes and engages me, I'll talk to them. But I'm just relieved right now.
Understood. Well, everybody seems to be resting comfortably and seems to feel safe. So, nobody bothers you at any point. right before everyone else arrives back, food is delivered, which of course Socks will wake up for. So it does. So food is delivered. It's pretty good food. They've obviously taken everyone's eating habits into place for this. So so there's a meal that comes with. I'm sorry, I'm really distracted because my phone just went off again. There's a meal that comes with. There's a plate that has some meats on it that are freshly cooked meats. You assume probably crocodile. That being said, there's also some fresh vegetables and fruits that come from the swamp. So they're pretty basic, blandy fruits and veggies, but they're fruits and veggies nonetheless. And it's just kind of laid out. And there's actually a cask of, if you try it, it turns out is decent wine that has been brought in as well. And they've just kind of set the cask up over by the food. So it's kind of set up like a buffet for you guys so that you can pick and choose what you want to eat, and then they set it up and they leave, and none of them really speak to you. The first one that enters speaks to you in Draconic, and then with Socks being asleep but then smelling food, wakes up, has a quick conversation with them, and then they leave. Yeah, it's food for us. Just, whatever. They said that they'd be back here in a little bit and they'd check to see if we need any more of anything. Apparently that's some pretty good wine there, bud. I don't know how you feel about, partaking, but...
I'm gonna get up and just go grab pretty much one of everything. Meat, vegetables, everything, some wine. I'm gonna grab the whole cask of wine, though.
Alright, fair enough. And as you do that, Sock says, hey, shit. Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm saying right there. You're my guy. He kind of like fist bumps your hand as it's hanging by your side.
Low pound.
Low bone.
That's what it was, low pound, yep.
So, at this point, though, Lily comes in shortly thereafter, followed by Ari and then Carrick and Dee Dee.
Hey,
Well, hey, you guys.
Well, hi.
How's your uncle doing, Rock?
Oh, sorry. He's sleeping now. There's a lot for him to take in between, getting kidnapped and seeing his sister and brother-in-law. I think that was a lot for him to take in.
I couldn't even imagine. But it's good. He's getting some rest. That's good. That's what he needs.
Yeah. I think we all needed this.
Lily is going to start working on making another thieves kit, which I can do, but it takes an hour.
So, all right. So you can do that easily within an hour. Now, Dee Dee, what was the deception?
Because I'm really trying to hold my tongue about what all transpired.
I won't notice.
So I'm assuming you're all just gonna sit and eat in silence.
I'm sending you a message.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to the buffet and grab a plate full of vegetables, and then I'm gonna go sit over by Socks.
So what have you guys been up to? You guys were gone for a while.
figuring out what we fought.
What'd you guys find out?
that they don't have anything to help me fight it if we encounter it again.
Oh, we defeated with what we had.
Mostly.
Well, it's dead. We're not. I'm still like looking at the box when I say that.
There was more magic involved than what we produce, killing it.
That was a really rough fight. That hurt a lot.
You all rested up, Didi?
No, wait, have we rested?
No, we haven't rested yet.
No,
You had an opportunity for a short rest.
no, I'm still beat up.
Should probably take a break.
Yeah, I got some good bruises. I'm gonna eat, then I'm gonna, lay down.
All right, so I will begin working on the box as I eat.
Make me make me an intelligence check. All right, you are certain that you are making good progress with this box. Again, you do feel like this is going to take more time than just one sitting, but you feel like you have made quite a bit of progress with the 1 hour that you've had. If you want to continue working on it past an hour, it will be at a disadvantage, though.
Look at the big brain on Brad.
As long as I know I would still be able to get a full 8 hours of sleep, I would work on it as many hours as I could.
Okay.
So what,
we're gonna do it.
what time is it right now?
Food's come, the sun is gone down at this point, so it is to the point to where resting is definitely on the brain. If you wanted to get a full 8 hours, now mind you, you only need to get roughly like 6 hours of actual sleep based off the way I've always looked at it, because if you throw a watch in there, it's more about having minimal effort kind of thing, as long as you're not expending a lot of effort. So I would think it's probably somewhere around 9 o'clock-ish at this point.
Okay, then I would probably go till about midnight then.
All right, let me get another intelligence, but this time it will be at disadvantage. All right, you don't feel like you made any progress with that one.
While he's working on it, I do want to ritually cast Detect Magic. And I know you said it's not magical, but in trying to remember how it felt when we first detected magic on the box that Kralot was delivering, does it feel like it's being protected or it's just not magical?
Similar.
So it's similar to what Kralot is.
It feels like, in the same sense, the box itself is not magical, but it feels like that. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Instead of it feeling like there's a void of magic there, it feels like there is sort of a hole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't penetrate through the box.
It's
Yep.
wrapped in tinfoil.
Yep.
I know you love my lead line boxes.
This is driving Lily crazy, and she's just like skirting around right now, just trying not to do anything. So thank you.
When I notice her looking around, I'm gonna say, "Do you know something I don't?" You're like,
The
what do you
box that you're working on, it's carrying something, and we know it's carrying something. I can't tell if it's magical or not. It's just, it could be.
Oh,
It feels the same way that the package that thing was trying to steal from us originally. Hi, Ari.
Hi.
It feels like that box. They feel very similar. And I really, really want to open the other box, but I don't know. I don't know what we're tapping into here, and I'm starting to get
You don't-
afraid.
You don't think that the box that he has might be the thing that they were looking for, do you?
But it was 20 years. She's gonna start talking quieter. It was 20 years ago.
Well, yeah, but time
And
is
now-
irrelevant when it comes to an item like that.
I think
I mean, you know,
they could be similar, but we don't know what's in that package. We don't know, and if we open it, that could end poorly for us.
what, this box? I'm gonna hold it up. This one?
That one and the package. Like if we unwrap the package to see what's in it, to see if it's the same type of puzzle box.
Oh, do you think I should not open this? Should I continue now, or you think we should wait?
I don't know.
Well, it looks like you should wait.
They destroyed a whole city to find something.
Yeah, but you know, knowledge is power, but hell, sometimes knowledge can get you killed too.
That's yeah. We were just supposed to be delivering something, and now we've fallen into this, and I think we have two targets on our backs.
Wait, you have another. What? Where are you guys?
Oh, yeah, you don't know about that. Yeah, that we're helping Krillok to take something somewhere.
But we don't know what it is.
Exactly.
No, we don't know what it is.
And
Just
someone
like we
tried
don't
to
know what's
kill
in
for
here.
it.
Where is it? Where is it going?
To Broken Tusk.
It kind of makes me wonder if what's inside there might be what's inside, like the mate or the partner, the other
That's
piece
what
of
I'm
what's in
thinking.
his box. Yes, that's.
Or it could just be something else. Who knows?
Maybe it's a box of tobacco. I don't know.
You know, because people want to hide stuff all the time. Maybe I'm just reading too into it. Maybe they're just hiding, like, you know, they're some foreign substance. And that's why I don't want to open the package, because, you know, we could get in trouble for being bad delivery people. And it's just like he's smuggling some magical dust or something that is not supposed to cross lines.
Are
Who
you
knows?
getting paid for this?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think for now I'm just gonna put it away. I'll work on it a little at a time. I'm a little flustered at this point. I think I may have actually went a little blundered on the last move here. So we should think on it. I'll take my time.
All right.
And it's gonna take a while to get this thing unlocked. There's no way I'm gonna get it in just like an hour, not even probably 2 or 3 or 4, even if I'm. So we got time, but perhaps.
Just something to think about, that we could now possibly have two targets on our backs instead of just the one from
No.
first.
Does Krillok know what's inside the box he has?
So there's somebody after this box that you guys have.
We don't know.
Am I in the? Am I in the saber? No. I don't know if I'm in the saber. Or
Well,
not.
they haven't left this room. They haven't left the food room.
Well, yeah, we're talking low over here, but I mean, if you want to do a perception and see if you hear us, or if you just want to walk up and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
Because he's playing with the box, and he didn't tell you he had a box.
I'm not hiding the box. I mean, I've got a box in my hand that I'm fiddling with. It's
But
in plain view.
I have my box, so I'm not worried about it, I guess.
I mean, do you think we should maybe ask Krillok if he knows what's inside the box, if it's one of these?
We could. He might know. But
What's
he was just a
inside the
delivery boy.
box?
I'm gonna
Oh, God,
hold the
you're
box
asleep.
up to Krillok, and I'm gonna say, "You ever seen one of these, Krillok?"
No.
So I have a question. I guess I should have asked. Why is everybody trying to help deliver this box? Why is Dee Dee and Carrick involved in
Well, we sort of got drug into a bit of a brawl over the box, and well, I mean, you know, Dee Dee here, and I mean not Dee Dee, but Lily and Krillock, they need a little help, and be honest, I got tired of sitting around doing what I was doing, and they asked me if I wanted to help, and here I am.
So was the brawl over the box?
Yes.
Yeah.
And where'd the box come from?
I don't know.
I don't ask questions.
But
He's just a
Well,
delivery boy.
it had to appear somewhere. I mean, at one point somebody gave it to you.
Uh-huh.
Where-
Somebody gave
where-
it to me,
where
and
was
I'm
that?
delivering it.
What city was that in?
It's back in Providence.
Well, it's just gonna be like, No, you had the box before Providence. I'm sorry. I feel like Ari has a right to know, like, that we're in danger, and now we've put her in danger because she's traveling with us. So he was doing a drop at my shop in Providence. So he had the box before Providence. But I don't know where it came from, and I don't know if he knows.
So we just had a box we need to deliver that we don't know. How do we know it needs to be delivered? Do we know it needs to be delivered?
He was
He said
delivering
so.
it to somebody in my shop, and that person died because they got attacked by someone. So he was going to pass it off in Providence to someone else, but they died. So now he's completing the drop off to the next person, because the middleman died.
Do we know who the next person is?
Somebody in Broken Tusk.
So it doesn't matter who, just as long as they're in Broken Tusk.
He knows who. We don't know who.
Gotcha.
And he's my friend, so I'm helping him, and we've paid/offered these guys to help us.
That's the gist of it.
I think I need to see how this goes.
I mean, you're still looking for your father. Maybe he went to Broken Tusk, because that's the next closest city to Hanana.
Well, there's that, and there's this. Yeah.
It's not a bad place for a halfling to hide.
Well, what if I've heard that's what we only really one of two directions from there, north or south, and they don't really move north anymore. But yeah, there's the issue of this undead creature.
Okay, we killed it before, we'll kill it again.
Well, I don't think we're gonna kill that one again.
All right, I'm going to bed. Don't play with the box anymore.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it in my pack. I'm a little burnt out on it anyway.
Wait. So we're going to the creature that is looking for
No.
things we might have.
No, we're gonna deliver a package. That's our goal at this point. But I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But for now, I'm gonna fill my belly, and I am
No,
also going to go to bed.
I'm talking about what's going to happen tomorrow, not what's happening in Broken Tusk. We are actively going to a creature that.
No,
No,
we're going to go back to Hanana. We have to
Yeah.
get the
No.
Tonka and Clintrap back home first.
But in
And-
Snouts, we're eventually going to Snout. We're going there.
I'm
I
going to
don't,
bed.
even know if, I don't even know if Snout even exists anymore.
We're going back to Hanana tomorrow, and then we are going to formulate our plan after safely delivering the turtles to Hanana.
Sounds like a good plan. Getting away from here and back to there before we discuss more is probably a good idea. I'll whisper into Ari's ear, if we say too much about what's going on here, it might set off Krillok, and he might like do something that's bad. So shh, no more talking about it until we get
And-
out of here.
And I'll whisper back, like, I think there's a lot more going on here than you guys realize.
I think there's a lot more going on for sure, but I think that all we've been able to find out now is definitely going to lead to some questions with the elders and Hanana when we get back tomorrow.
I think it will.
All right. So, before everyone starts going to sleep, is there anything else that anybody wants to discuss with anyone? Or is it it's time for rest?
I think it's time for
Yep.
rest.
I will eat, and I'm going to lay my head down.
All right. I'm going to take another maybe hopefully 7ish minutes. Give me just one moment.
Roll
So-
initiative.
I know.
Everyone roll initiative. No. So everyone goes to sleep. You're resting. You're exhausted. You trudged through for hours. You haven't slept in what feels like for so long. And you finally feel a semblance of safe, surrounded by your at least temporary allies.
Nothing was gonna. Do we do
Don't-
our
don't
alarm?
tell me
Do we
about
do
that.
our alarm?
Oh yeah, we definitely set our alarm, so you
Yeah,
can't believe it.
Okay.
You guys are safe where you are. It's okay. You went to sleep. You're safe.
Still setting the
But-
alarm.
As everyone is asleep, Krillok, you're woke in the middle of the night, and you look up and you see your Uncle Clintrap, and he's sort of just lightly shaking you.
What's up, Unc?
I have to give you this while I'm here. He starts looking around,
All right.
making sure that no one's been disturbed. Keep your voice down. You need to. There's a lot. There's a lot that I should have been able to share with you. There's a lot you should have known, but my mind is it's failing me. My mind is failing me. You know it and I know it, and I can't. It frustrates me so. I can't be here the way you need me to be here right now, but this is. And he reaches down and picks up the handle of his glaive that he uses as a walking stick. And he looks around one more time. And he starts to unscrew a portion of it. And it seems like it's a locking mechanism where he turns it once to the left and he pulls upward, and it seems to elongate just a little bit. And then he twists it again the opposite direction, a full half turn, and then it comes loose. And inside of it, there's this small. It looks like something wrapped in canvas, almost like it would be like a charcoal brick wrapped in canvas. And he takes it and he pulls the canvas off of it, looks around. And as he's doing all this, he says, "Your mother, you don't remember this, boy, but she sent you with something. She sent you with something that it was hers. It was hers to protect. It was her job. She had to hold this, but there was nothing she could do. And when she realized that she was not going to be able to do her duty, she sent it with you. She sent it with you to me. Unwittingly, she sent it with you." And he pulls it fresh, and it looks sort of like it's a small clamshell design that looks like it's carved out of wood. And as he pops it open, there's a small sapphire that is affixed to an amulet, an absolute deep blue, attached to a chain. And he sort of opens it and shows it to you, and then closes it quickly and starts wrapping it back up, and then puts it back in the compartment. "You have to take this. You have to." And he sort of, this is oh, I'm sorry. I forgot what I was saying. Is your aunt
hang in.
back from the market? No, where? And he looks around confusedly.
No, Uncle. We're on an adventure.
Oh, all right then. Looks around. Is- Okay,
Go ahead and go back to sleep. We'll head home tomorrow.
okay. And he sort of takes his stick and props it up against next to his bed and lays back down and rolls over. And there, we will call it for tonight.
I hate you.
Ta-da! All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Check out our website, www.com or www.puffinsofdoom.com. You can find a link to our Discord there, a schedule for our next games. We'll be doing another Tiermora next week. Feel free to join us on our Discord. We're a fun, lovable group of folks. So stop on in. If you missed anything from tonight, you can catch the VOD on Twitch, or if you want to wait, we've got all of our old VODs, and we'll have this one up on YouTube tomorrow, probably. www.youtube.com/puffinsofdoom. If you didn't follow, don't forget, and we'll catch you next game. Thanks, everybody.